I think it's important to give back to the country, if you will.
ASMBA STAR Foundation has an opportunity to help those wonderful young people achieve the goals that they would like to achieve for their family.
We have a common focus, which is, again, trying to help military and military families as to meet their needs as we live in a very demanding time.
I think even those who are injured would say, take care of my family, take care of my children, help them.
ASMBA is magnificent because it offers funding for what we do. And what we're doing is we're providing free, confidential counseling to people who wouldn't go and get help under any other conditions. And there's no source of payment from the military, from insurance companies, or anywhere else to provide that kind of counseling help. But when somebody like the ASMBA steps up to help, it helps somebody who flat out would not get help in any other situation.
When you join the Marine Corps and you sign up to be an infantryman, you don't do that hoping you don't go to war. You sign it knowing and hoping that you go because there's no other reason to join that particular job field unless you do. We came in very heavy-handed. It was a Taliban-controlled place. We came in with full force, everything that we could give because we had to be that way. You have these experiences that absolutely no one in the world will know what it's like. There's things that Zach and I know about each other no one else in the world will ever know.
I saw Adam in my contacts and I pressed his name. I don't really know why, I just did it. And we started talking and developed a conversation and started to find out more about what was going on in his life, and he found out a little bit more about what was going on with mine.
It was particularly challenging for me. And I was going through a very dark time, and I was driving in my car one day and I got a phone call from Zach, and he called me and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I don't know why, I don't know what reason, but instead of doing the usual, I'm doing good, everything's going all right, I'm at school, instead of doing the, exchanging the regular pleasantries of catching up with a friend, I told him, I said, I'm doing awful, I'm doing terrible.
We'd all survived this time in the military through an amazing amount of horrific and tragic circumstances. We're all back home alive, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know where to turn.
I didn't know how I felt about coming forward with a lot of the problems that I was having, personal issues. I didn't know how I felt about seeking treatment. At that point, I felt like a lost cause.
And I felt like I'd failed because I didn't give him that final piece of knowledge, that I would always be there for him, and he could always count on me.
2 years later, when it was all said and done and we're ready to exit, exit the Marine Corps, did we realize how much we had stuffed, how much we had left undealt with.
Once we were finally able to get him into the treatment he needed through the neuro training, some counseling and stuff, I got to see Adam again for like the first time in a long time.
I wouldn't be the person that I was today if it wasn't for Not Alone helping me get this for free, because there's no way I could have paid for it.
But the biggest thing to get to see is to see him now and his zest for life and his happiness and how happy his wife and his mother are of him, and how for a long time he felt like there was nothing else, and now he's alive again. Just to see how proud a mother was of her son, because she said for so long she felt like she had lost him. And I don't credit that to me, I credit that to what we're doing at Not Alone, to that we're having real, visceral, physical evidence and proof that what we're doing works and that we're saving lives, especially the ones that mean so much to me.
"20 years ago, Operation Stand Down started as a one-stop shop for homeless veterans, kind of a homeless veterans respite. And even back then, I mean, it didn't make any sense that homeless and veteran would be in the same sentence. Nobody chooses to become homeless. There's a set of issues and problems. So we dealt with those through the transitional housing program, Return to Life. We gave them meetings, we gave them support, we gave them food, we nourished them from the soul on.
When I came to this house, you know, I was broken. Nobody trusted me, I had no family. I had kids, but they didn't, at the time they were small, they didn't care who I was. I was mad at the world, and this was my last stop before ending it all, you know.
Chip was this young guy that seemed to have a whole lot of attitude and kind of angry. And, you know, it kind of reminded me of myself.
My pride ate me up, and finally enough was enough, and I wanted to get some help, and the pain was hard enough, so I called Stand Down and said, hey, can I get an extra, you know, a second chance?
We started them on an employment path, but it wasn't just about getting a job, it was about getting something sustainable, something that they would see as fulfilling. We found out that that's what really succeeded more than anything else, was not to give the man the fish, but to show them how.
Well, I'm Tim Nicely with Lexus of Nashville, and we've come here today to hire 5 to 7 great candidates and veterans of the place to start.
It was one of my greatest tools, was to take the person that was the most trouble and to make them a leader, and give them responsibility, and tell them that, you know, this is up to you now. You can't complain when you're the guy that's in charge of it. And Chip not only blossomed from that, but he grew into a case manager, counselor. He's in school, he's married, he's got his own home now. And all of that started from those same troubled beginnings as most of us had. So I know that it could be successful. I know that it could be successful because I see it, and I see these veterans come back and they have something to offer.
It taught me how to live. It showed me how to be a better person. My kids always wanted a good dad, and if it wouldn't have been for Stand Down, I would have never been that, you know. It taught me how to be the better person. So if it wasn't for Stand Down, I probably wouldn't be here today. So.
My name is Mike Kitchens.
I'm Susie Kitchens, and this is Bearden. He's a Smoky Mountain service dog.
Our mission is simply to provide mobility assistance dogs to disabled veterans. Our third placement, Billy Marshall, an Air Force Explosive Ordnance Disposal Specialist who lost a left leg and a left arm.
As we were walking, there were no clicks, any kind of movie things. It's just boom, an explosion. I hit the ground face first. I crushed these 3 fingers. When I had rolled over, I had sand in my mouth. I was trying to get the sand out. My foot on this side was up by my head, and I didn't know what had happened. I knew there was an explosion, but I didn't know if I was the only one alive, if everyone else was okay, or what had happened. They started pulling their belts off. One of them tourniqueted my arm, the other one tourniqueted my leg. Then they picked me up and started carrying me to the Humvee. On my birthday, my wife had taken me out to dinner. We were in the parking lot of the restaurant. I took a bad fall. After that, she insisted that we look into doing something. I can put weight on her and she'll hold it. She'll help me for stability to get up and down out of chairs. She's just waiting to help. She's wanting always to do something, to retrieve something, to help. You can tell Lucy is very special that way. When the service dog becomes your dog, it's yours from then on to take care of each other. It's a great feeling.
Without contributions from folks like the STAR Foundation, other folks within the community that support us, there's just no way we would be able to have the time, the energy, and the capability to raise the funds required to do what we do.